Hi. Daniel Richard of New Hampshire is now gaining more publicity for himself by filing a writ of mandamus with a court to try to provoke a court to order the Secretary of State and his underlings to obey the law regarding absentee ballots and make sure that absentee ballots are marked properly and legally with affidavits and notarized signatures. This, according to Daniel Richard and his gang of fools, is going to give us election integrity in New Hampshire. Now, I propose that Daniel Richard can't possibly be so incredibly stupid that he doesn't know that everyone on the ballot is either a domestic enemy of we the people or a foreign enemy of we the people, whose last names are all Esquire. I know that Daniel Richard understands the original 13th Amendment that barred people named Esquire from working in our government. But his writ of mandamus and his other foolish lawsuits that he presented to the Supreme Court of New Hampshire don't mention that. They only mention giving us election integrity so that dead Democrats and imaginary Democrats can't vote using absentee ballots. This does nothing to keep the enemy Democrats, the enemy Republicans, or the enemy attorneys out of public office. Dan Richard must know this. His actions are allowing enemy attorneys to continue working in our government in violation of our laws. I'm pretty sure Dan Richard is a veteran. And if that's true, then Dan Richard took a similar oath to the one I took, where he swore to defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Now, when every Democrat and Republican in the country does nothing to abolish the Federal Reserve, which is owned by enemies of the United States, then all of those Democrats and Republicans are domestic enemies. This is pretty simple to see. Now, even someone feigning extreme idiocy like Daniel Richard can see this. But he's not going to tell you that because he wants you to go out and vote for Republicans. We'll presume that he thinks it's fair for people to vote for Democrats too, but he's a Republican and that's who he wants you to vote for. There aren't any Republicans who are trying to abolish the Federal Reserve. So by that knowledge, we know that all Democrats and all Republicans suck equally. Daniel Richard is not so stupid that he doesn't know this. I think there are some people that follow him in his gang of fools that don't know this. They believe that Republicans are better than Democrats. I guess Republicans tell them better lies. They talk about junk like, what do they call it? Fiscal responsibility, which only means that you're stupid enough to pay taxes to our enemies who own the Federal Reserve and think that that's a responsible way to act instead of an idiotic way to act. What you should be doing is taking action to abolish the Federal Reserve. And you should be taking action to remove every goddamn scumbag lawyer from our government and from our society. Because as I think Dan Richard knows, but he won't state in any of his actions that he files with courts, is that attorneys cannot practice their deranged version of law in the United States. Is Dan Richard truly so damn stupid that he can wade through all of the quagmire of legal bullshit to get these cases filed, but he can't read the Declaration of Independence to understand those words that they absolve from all allegiance to the British Crown and their vile scumbag attorneys? I think Daniel Richard can read and understand those words, and that he's feigning abject stupidity to help the bankers and lawyers destroy the United States. And the gang of fools who follow him think that he's leading them to help save our country because they believe that Republicans are better than Democrats. Even though there's a whole bunch of Republican attorneys, including J.D. Vance, who are working in violation of our laws in our government, in destroying the United States by allowing the Federal Reserve to exist to rob everyone in the country. This is what Daniel Richard and his gang of fools are doing. And someone has to try to educate these damn stupid bastards so they will become a little bit smarter and stop following Daniel Richard and try to unite we the people to fire the whole damn government instead of voting for domestic enemies named Democrat and Republican and foreign enemies named Esquire. Daniel Richard, I don't believe you're as stupid as you act, and that's probably why you chose to be a coward and refuse to respond when I accepted your invitation to debate you. That's Daniel Richard. Coward. A person who is probably semi-intelligent and is feigning abject stupidity. That's my opinion of Daniel Richard. Thanks for watching.